Uncle Frank.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today, man? Um, Family, we got a real sticky topic that we're gonna discuss tonight, man. You guys got y'all drinks ready because y'all gonna need it for the night, man. I went and got me a big old ball of this to try to cope with some of the things that we've been dealing with, man. It's been tough this week, man, and my heart heavy. A lot of things have been happening to us personally, as well as in our communities. And tonight, we are down two members. We praying for them. Their hearts are heavy as well. So, Uncle Frank,
I'm Triple OG Tory, and as Frank was talking about tonight, I'm drinking on that Budweiser Platinum, but I'm making it. Nothing strong though, something like.
Man, Mr. P here, and I just got a little homebrew margarita mix that I'm sipping on tonight. So we get a sip so we can get in the right mind state for this conversation.
man, today we're gonna discuss the um, the tragic death of one of our younger, which he has gotten older. Uh, he was very influential in my life because I saw a lot of possibilities in the things that was he was doing, and he looked like me. He was a young black boy. He looked like me. So we're gonna discuss the tragic death of Malcolm Jamal Warner and how that impacted us hearing that, because we also had some other things that happened in our lives as a group. Um, the passing of our dear friend Janelle Poole, a close friend of ours named Jonathan Poole's wife. So we're gonna talk about, fellas. Let's discuss how this made you feel, how this grief attached itself to you. Because when we was out talking and loving on each other the way real men supposed to do, some deep conversations needed to be had. So, Tori, how did this tragic death of Malcolm affect you?
Okay. Um, First of all, let me give you my Malcolm Jamal Warner story.
Oh
I
yeah, I'm sure
remember,
you got a picture. I'm sure you got a
I,
picture with him.
believe it or not, I don't have a picture. I looked up earlier that he was actually in Atlanta. They was filming that show. So I never saw it. I never ran into Malcolm. And probably ran into him and didn't see him. I seen Eddie Winslow, but I never seen Malcolm. But this is my Malcolm Jamal Warner story. So I don't know if y'all remember back in the day. It was a strip club called Diamonds right
Mm-hmm.
there on what was that, on Howell Mill. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
north side. So at the time, they had lost their liquor license, so we was 18. So I never forget, it was me and I ain't gonna mention their name, two other high school people. We went in there because it was Club Diamonds. So they had lost their liquor license. So we was in there. And I never forget, this white girl just kept dancing with me. She was just dancing and dancing with me because she was like, oh my God, oh my God. She just kept giving me free dances. I didn't know what the problem was. So she gonna tell me, you look like Theo. So the whole time I kept saying Tori, but she kept calling me Theo the whole time. So
You say y'all
my
all look alike. Y'all all
yeah,
look
I
alike.
guess we all look alike. But she kept saying I look like Theo. But the whole time she kept calling me Theo. She wouldn't call me Tori. She called me Theo. And I'll never forget, the two friends I was with. They like, man, that's racial, man. She keep calling you Theo. You ought to take that personal. But she kept calling me Theo. So I would never forget. So we left the club. She gave me her number and everything. And every
So
time she would call me, she would keep calling me Theo. And she kept saying I look like Theo. I didn't look nothing like no Malcom-Jamal Warner. But she
mhm.
would always kept calling me Theo. I don't know
did
why.
did you give that Theo?
Right. Hey, do
No,
you
no,
give her
you
the
know what?
pudding pop? Did you give
Hey
her that
No,
man,
no,
pudding
no,
pop?
no, 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 no,
I'm
no,
You
trying to
gave her that
tell you,
Jello pudding
shit.
pop?
man, when I tell you that stuff was, well, we talk about Grieve, I tell you stuff was crazy because she kept saying, I remember like I said, I was 18, and I remember she was like, she would, I would, this is beeper times to let you know, for young folks
Yeah.
out there don't know what beepers are. She would beep me. She just send me a beep, and when she would page me, she would always ask me from a payphone, and she would always talk to me on page. She said, "Hey Theo," but she kept trying to get me. She was saying she was staying at the hotel with another dancer, but she kept wanting me to come, but I would never go because I was like, man, they ain't finna hang me up in there.
I'm trying to tell you, you did the right thing.
But
If
the
Right.
you never
point
did the
is,
right
Intuition.
thing before,
but my friends would never
Hey,
go. I said, hey man, go. She kept calling me. So eventually she kept calling me Theo, but she would never come up there. So I guess since I never went to the hotel, she said she just stopped paging. So,
hey man,
but,
it is what it is, bro. So
but I know
yeah.
it's a
how
So you
did
was
crazy
a trick,
story,
bro.
but
He trying to trap
it's
you.
not. I know it, right? So I know it's a crazy story, but that was my Theo story. But with him passing though, yeah, it's kind of grief. I never really thought how much he touched people's lives because once I looked on the Facebook, like for the Facebook on the past couple of days, everything you see, every celebrity is posting pictures of him. I mean, whether it's female, male. I mean, I have just a vast variety of people just talking about him. So um with the grief comes is the fact that he drowned.
yeah.
Um, it just the grief comes with. I mean, I know he had a wife and a daughter, but I haven't really did my homework to figure out how old was his daughter. But it's almost in the same statement what we're going through now. You know, his daughter don't have a dad no more. So we look at
Yes.
those little small things like the graduations, the soccer games. That their father's not going to be there. So I've heard stories where they were saying Bill Cosby felt like he lost a son and different things like that. But I just. Mhm. I just never knew how much of an impact he had. I mean,
Yeah.
but I guess when it goes,
I can understand it, Tori, because the Huxtables, despite what has happened in the recent years with Bill Cosby, they were the ideal family that a lot of us aspired to be.
Hmm.
And Theo was like a brother to us, or were like us. We would want to be in that type of family. You know what I mean? So he's close. Well, I think he's was he 55. So he's
I think it's
54, I think.
54.
I
Yeah, I
think
think they say
54.
54.
50.
Yeah.
So he's in
So
our age range. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
3 years.
So
Yeah,
he's close. Yeah, he's close in age to us. So while he was growing up, we were going through, maybe a couple of
Same
years
thing.
after them, same, things. But we didn't, we weren't in that environment like they were. Our family definitely weren't the Huxtables, but it was like a glimpse into, what some of the things that we wanted for ourselves. Because I know a lot of us modeled how, or we, how we wanted our futures. I at least I know I did. I'm like, I want to have a house, with my wife and kids, and be happy and raise my kids. You know what I mean? So that was kind
Yeah.
of the ideal family that a lot of us aspired to be. And so the tragic way that he lost his life, it just hits hard. And for me personally, because of the things that we've been going in dealing with personally, um, and after attending, having to attend funeral, and as a husband, to see another black man who has to bury his wife and has a young daughter, and what I mean. So all those emotions, at least for me, um, it's just stirring up a whole lot. And for me, and in the moment of honesty and clarity, I don't I don't deal with grief. You know what I mean? So I've compartmentalized a lot of things. So I thank God that for the most of my life, I have not had to deal with it on that level. You know what I mean? My grandmother passed away. Both my grandmothers passed away, and I haven't had any. those siblings to pass away. You know, nobody like my best friends and stuff like that have always been here. No one really that close to me, um, I've had to deal with that. And so for me, seeing that for somebody that I know personally, it it brings some things to the surface for me. That how am I going to deal with that? How would I deal with that? Um, you know, what did I need to do to prepare myself for that? Can I be prepared for that? I don't think anybody can, but I'm just saying it was just stirring a whole lot of emotions, a whole lot of thoughts for me, that I couldn't imagine, um, having to deal with. And we talked about it before. We mentioned it all the time that what we say we got more summers behind us than we got ahead of us. So the more
Hmm.
we live, um, the more these things are going to become commonplace. So, that it just stirred a whole lot of, uh,
Today, gentlemen,
yeah.
I heard. Um, I talked to one of our close friends, Tamika, and she told me that in all actuality, you are one heartbeat away,
Mhm.
you are one breath away, you are one blink of an eye away to no longer being here. And as you sit down and sit back and just really think over your life, when this grief hits you, because I've lost a lot of family members in the last 2 years. And if you stay on God green earth long enough, people gonna start leaving you. And I'm talking about it ain't they don't want to leave you, but they can't stay here forever. And when you start mourning and then grief sit in, I can speak for me. And when I speak for me, I try to only talk about me. I don't try to tell people, man, I know what you're going through. Because a lot of times, man, that just be idle chatter. If you ain't been there, you really don't understand what a person is dealing with. So when you say I understand, you really don't. Sometimes people want you to just sit back and listen. They don't really want you to respond. They really just want you to be a listening ear. At least me, that's what I needed. Um, when I grieved, um, when it hit me that my brother had died, it felt surreal. It felt like I was having an out of body experience. And I don't think the reality of his passing touched me to maybe 4 to 5 months later, because I got up one day, went to the bathroom, and I picked my phone up like I always do. And once I hit my text messages, the person that texts you the most, their name will be in an iPhone, their name would be at the top. And his name was at the top. And I hadn't got a text message from him in over 4 months. That let me know how much we interacted with each other. 4 months later, his name's still at the top. And now it has been over 2 years, and his icon is still in the top five. And that had been over 2 years ago. So, and when I was gonna go get a new phone, gentlemen, I swear I was so afraid that if I get a new phone, when they transfer your old stuff over to your new phone, I thought that I was gonna lose that. So I decided not to even get. I honestly decided not to even get a new phone, man. I swear to God, I just to open that text thread up and see some of the things he texted me, because in the last year, my brother had a stroke, so he couldn't talk. So I just got a ass load of text messages. And now here it is over 2 years later. I'll open it, and the shit would get so heavy on me. I start crying like he just died this morning. So man, this grief thing, you don't realize how much it affects you until, like Vincent said, the noise stopped. When all the noise stopped, and the noise is people constantly calling you, people constantly asking you, is you okay? People constantly asking you, hey man, if you ever need me, call me. And some people are genuine with that. Some. And when I say some, I mean maybe 15%. It ain't even no high number where people say, hey man, if you ever need me, call me, I'll be there. There's a rare occasion that I call somebody and they even got time to listen. More or less got time to pull up on you to see how you doing. It don't happen like that. That's why what we do is so important because we deal with real stories. We deal with real situations outside in the real world, man. That's what our thing is. And I know it's just three of us tonight and it used to be five. Everybody deal with stuff different and it affect them differently. And my story might be a lot of people's story, but that don't necessarily mean my story gonna be everybody's story. Um, my grandmama died, and she died around my mom's birthday. And now my mom don't even really celebrate her birthday because if she feel like she's celebrating the death of her mama. So
Oh,
a lot of stuff it hits you differently, man. I'm talking about like you'll be excited about stuff. And then you guys know for me, when my brother died, um, every year on his birthday, I have a party. And I've noticed, fellas, that every year on his death day, I have a party. And I did it last year unconsciously without even realizing that I'm celebrating his death day. Usually we all get together and it be for his birthday. But in my mind, I couldn't even process how I was feeling. I just know I want to do something to make me feel good. And for me, I need people around me when I'm grieving. I need people I can talk to. I need people that genuinely give a damn how I feel. So, friend of mine, brother of mine, if you never really dealt with grief, you need to make sure your team is strong. You need to make sure that people see you. They don't have to talk to you. They just need to be close enough for you to see them. And if you need that shoulder to lean on, they right there. And it's so crazy with us, gentlemen, and I don't want to be long-winded, but it's so crazy with us as men. We don't have safe spaces. Like, and I know this true because when my grandmama died, everybody was at my mom's house. I went, everybody in there, they talking, everybody sad, they down. Man, I went in the garage and held the door so nobody could come in the garage where I was at. I was out there crying like a baby, but I didn't want nobody to see me.
but
You get what I'm
back on,
saying?
yeah, but on that, Frank, do you think it's, because I used to have that problem too with crying. You think we think, well, from what I think, like I said, maybe I didn't have that father figure, but I was always in the impression that real men don't cry. But the
That's what we,
older,
because
I'm
that's
just
what
saying,
we were taught. That's
that's
what
what
we
we're
were
talking.
taught.
So as I got older, I get to with my, I don't care if somebody see me cry. Actually, believe it or not, it seems like since I got 50, man, crossing my, I'm a little bit more emotional than I used to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Is it still that staple? Now, I bring back and ask you, Paulos. Is it
I,
okay
I
to cry?
I think I don't know. That's my biggest fear, that because I've been pushing I push it down. I push it down. So I push everything so far down that I'm afraid if I let it go, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come back. You know what I mean? So that is what I'm saying. That is why I don't know how to deal with it. That's my fear because I applaud what you do, Frank. Like when people pass, when my grandmother passes, I haven't gone back to the grave. Like, you know how some people, I see it on Facebook, or some people say they celebrate the birthdays, or they'll, acknowledge the days that somebody passed. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I have the capacity to do that and to, hold it together. So that's why I push everything down. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know how I will react to it. So um, that's what I mean when I say I don't know if I can handle it.
But
Or
but
go
this
ahead.
the thing, Paulos. I need for you to and see this these safe spaces that we need. That like Tori just said a few minutes ago, when we were younger, people always told us real men don't cry. And like,
Is that a true statement though? Or you
huh?
think is that? Do you think
No,
that's a true
not when you get
statement?
older. I
Nah,
don't think it
I
anymore.
don't think no, I don't know
Yeah, I don't think like
because
that.
Well,
like
tell me
now
this question. Okay, so we say it's okay. We older, we cry when we older, but it's not good to cry when we younger. So when it be should be the opposite. You should
the-
cry more when you younger and less when you older.
what I think I don't think I don't think it's a time stamp on it. I think your emotions are your emotions, and if you need to let them out, I think you need to let them out because Tori, you and Paulo don't been to my house several times, and on my uh, patio, my Florida room or closed in patio or closed in deck, whatever you want to call it, I got a life size poster of my brother, and people would think that's some of the weirdest shit in the world. But me and my brother grew up so close that if I'm outside by myself and I want somebody to talk to, I sit there and I'll talk to him. For some people, man, they might think that's unnatural, but for me, that's one of the closest things that I can gain that gives me clarity, peace, and sanity. Because our mind, man, is so fragile, and just because you're a man, that don't mean that your mind don't have glitches in it. That don't mean that you're not emotional. That don't mean that you don't have mental stuff you deal with. Um, all of us, all of us. You guys can't begin to imagine how many traumas we don't experience to get to the age that we are now. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm looked at or I'm looked down upon if I'm vulnerable. I'm looked down upon if I tell you that I'm in pain. I'm looked down upon if it's some shit that I'm dealing with that I can't shake. I'm looked down upon for these things.
Yeah,
Um,
But who set those standards? Is it something?
society, society set
yeah,
those standards.
society.
Society set those standards, and they unrealistic.
Yeah,
Those standards are no realistic than me telling you and Parlos that at the end of the year, everybody in my neighborhood gonna be a millionaire. So that's unrealistic, man. That's everybody can't be a millionaire.
Well,
That's not possible.
well, I'm gonna run this on y'all. When we talk about being vulnerable. So speaking of y'all, y'all both are family men, y'all married. So would you say that y'all can't cry because you have to be strong enough for that woman? Because she don't. Because if they're down and crying and your kids crying, they got to have somebody to lean on to. So is that the reason why you supposed to be that staple in the ground to hold the family down? Is that why men? Is that why they say men shouldn't cry? Because you should be that. foundation of the house.
Well, for me, in the way that I was raised, if you gonna decide to be vulnerable, you better damn well make sure you got the right woman on your side. Because if you don't, she gonna use that shit against you from now until the day that you go in the grave.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably why men can't
So
cry because they scared about being vulnerable in front of their wife.
yeah, and it ain't necessary to be your wife. It can be your ex-wife. It can be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you ever
it's
been
anybody.
boy, that
Like,
shit that will be traumatic. That be one of them traumas.
yeah, it'd be like your in-laws,
Yeah.
because again, to expound on what Frank said, everybody is looking for you to be strong and be the one less emotional because we already know women and children are emotional. So as we are the head of our household and we're leading our families, we don't have this capacity to be emotional while they're being emotional. So we are programmed, or we have to be a certain way for so long because while we're raising them and growing our family, you become programmed to be that way. So when you get those moments, it's like, what do I do with that? How do I unload that? How do I deal with that? Because a great woman, yeah, is good to be there. But if you've been doing this for I've been married 28 years, been my wife 30 years. If you've been this way for 30 years, it's kind of hard to unprogram yourself and relearn those. And as we mature, we get older, we understand that we got to have those spaces and those outlets, like Frank was saying, those safe spaces so that we can unload that, get some of that off our shoulders, and so that we can be there for our family. Because again, they're still gonna come back to us. We can't stay in that mind state. We don't have the luxury of time to stay there for too long. But we do need to, and I'm speaking to myself, have to have space and opportunities to unload that stuff and be vulnerable and release that stuff. Um, because it's a reason why men typically die first. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Hmm.
stress.
Yeah.
And stress and the
That,
build up because we trying to hold so
yeah, we,
much. You
we
know what
hold
I'm
it
saying?
on. So it's the reason why we,
Like,
we die
yeah.
first.
And you know what's so crazy about this, gentleman? We sitting down talking about safe spaces and how grief affects us. And I grew up in a family. Well, Paulos, you had sisters. I ain't have sisters. And Tori, you're only child. But I grew up with all boys. And I could not imagine having a conversation with them that I'm having with you guys because for me not to be the oldest, I was viewed as the oldest.
Hold on, Frank.
My
I got a question. One quick
uh-huh,
question. Interrupt you. By you going with all boys, and we talking about the crime, you had older brothers and sisters. So, with older brothers, were you
uh-huh.
forced to the point that you couldn't cry because your brother's like, man,
No,
that's crying for babies.
no,
You better not cry.
no. That
Or like
that
if your
that
brother hit you or something, he like, you better not go in there crying no more. Or
nope,
same as you, Paulos. You got an
no.
older brother. Did Fernando ever hit you and dare you to cry?
Yeah. That was
It
not an
wasn't.
option to it. Yeah, like you can't you don't have the option because the next lick gonna be harder than the first one. The more you cry, the harder those licks get. And like I said, I was raised wrong. And now that I'm older, I realize it because my mom told me one time that she thought I was her first son born second. Let me say that to you guys again. She thought that I was her first son born second. Can you begin to imagine if my brother had a heard that shit, what that would
Mm-hmm.
have did to
Mm-hmm.
him mentally, his psyche of
Exactly.
Yeah.
thinking? So if they teaching us this kind of shit young, imagine how that don't give us no room to state how we really feel. It gives you absolutely no room to even know how to deal with certain things. So everything we attack is from a masculine standpoint. Um, it's like Carlos, you went with us. It was me, Tori, Lewis, Vincent, and a close friend of mine named Ike. We went to Charlotte, North Carolina for my birthday. And we were so drunk that all five of us were standing on the side of Waffle House pissing. And if you if you didn't know us, it may have looked like the strangest shit in the world. You got five grown men drunk trying to see who can pee the furthest. I'm talking about
Right.
it was
That's what we did. That's what we
we
did as kids.
listen, but we grown when you talk about kids, we in our
I know.
40s
We
at
still
that
big
time.
kids. Yeah.
And bro, it was one of the most strangest things in the world. But you taught to be a man in everything you do. And we are attaching our manliness to seeing who can piss the furthest. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like some of
Right.
the most
Yeah.
ridiculous shit in the world, because when you're born in a male form, if you're around other men, they teach you like Tori said, hey man, men don't cry. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. So as you get older, them traumas kick in, and we don't know how to process nothing logically. We think we do, but we so irrational with some of our logic because a lot of time we weren't raised right. We weren't raised that okay, if something hurting you, it's okay to talk about it. If something is giving you great pain, you might and people tell you therapy good. I went to therapy before and I didn't get nothing out of it because I was talking to a total stranger that did not know absolutely nothing about me. I didn't know nothing about them. I really didn't value what they were saying because I didn't feel like they valued what I was saying. But when I talk to you guys, I know y'all care about me. And y'all know I care about y'all. So this right here is some of the best therapy that anybody could ever have because I feel safe. I don't feel like I'm gonna be judged tomorrow. I don't feel like nobody gonna talk about me. Um, Even if you guys do, I know you love me. So I know it ain't out of shame. I don't know it. I know it ain't out of just y'all want to talk about somebody or hurt somebody. No, we're not here to do that. So when a person is grieving, you got to surround yourself with people that you care about, not as much as they care about you. You got to be around people that you generally care about because they ain't gonna stab you in the back. They ain't gonna
But
shit on you. They not gonna see you vulnerable and ask you to use your car. They not gonna see you vulnerable and ask you for 100 or 50, $1,000. You get what I'm saying? They not gonna use that time at your worstest and most vulnerable. They're not gonna use that against you. So you gotta be around people that you really care about, that you know gonna, give it back to you.
but in
Uh,
the same time, too, Frank, you don't think people just tell you stuff because it's the right thing to say? When you were talking earlier about, people say, "Hey, if you need me, just call me."
that
But
I just
I'm just
no,
saying,
they
people
don't know.
just say that because it
Yeah,
is good to
it's
say.
easy. Yeah, it's
It's easy
like
to
I
say.
told.
Like,
I
give you a
believe.
prime example. Like when I saw John, like the day when Janelle died, right? Went to the house. He was
Hmm.
still in the house when we got there, right?
Hmm.
So for without conscious, I said, "What's up, man?" He gave me a hug. I said, "What's going on?" Without me thinking, I said, "How you doing?" You know the first thing he said, and John don't even cuss. He said, "Man, I'm pretty fucked up right now,"
Mhm.
and he don't even cuss.
That was
That
his
was that was
truth.
that was the
Mm-hmm.
first I said. I looked like, "Whoa," you know what I'm saying?
That was his truth.
But at the
He
same
trusted
time,
you with it.
yeah, right. His wife was laying in there dead in the house, and that's the first thing I ain't know. He don't even cuss that much. That's the first thing he said to me. Hey man, I'm pretty fucked up right now.
Yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's why that man knew that you generally cared about him. He knew that he could be vulnerable and tell you how he really feel. You know, the worst thing I hate is when people say, "Hey, bro, how you doing today?" I hate when people say that to me because people don't give a fuck how you doing, man. They just saying that shit, and before you can even open your mouth, they gone. They really say that in passing. That ain't a word that people use to sit there and really want to know how you doing.
Yeah.
Like when you grieving, man, you don't really know what you saying. You really don't know what you doing. Um, you really want people to understand that, like John said, I'm really fucked up right now, and I want to be feel like I'm in a safe enough space to say it because this is the thing I had to learn. So I had to surround myself, Paulos, with people that love me because when you grieving, you'll get angry. And when you get angry, you'll take it out on somebody. And whoever you take it out on, they got to love you enough to know that you ain't right here at that moment and forgive you and not be like, oh man, fuck that motherfucker. I ain't gotta fuck with that motherfucker no more. Man, fuck him. And
Yeah.
then 2 weeks later, you won't even remember what you said to that person.
Yep. And,
You won't
and
even
he,
you won't
yeah,
even
I agree with you.
you won't even understand what you been on said. So it's very important. It's very important that you talk. It's very important that you be transparent, man. Like when I tell you we got to love on John right now. When I tell you we can't be the people that say, hey man, if you ever need me, call me. Tori, how many people in your entire life have you ever needed and then you called them? That ain't something. That ain't something
Yeah.
we do, bro.
Right.
You got to call me.
Yeah,
I'm the
but
one in pain.
that's one of the problems I have though, Frank. I know people say call me, and it's the thing where people say, "Oh, if you need me, call me." By
You
me
ain't gonna
being,
do
I
that.
guess me being the only child, I guess my biggest fear is if I ask something, if people say you need me, if I call you and I ask for help and you don't help me, that'll fuck me up. So I
Yeah,
find myself a lot of times I just deal with the shit by myself because I don't
Yeah.
want that disappoint me asking somebody for help and then they turn around and,
but
and,
see,
and don't do it.
Tori, that's another stigma that we deal with because
So that's something I know I deal with. Because
yeah,
there's been
Yeah.
times where I'm not gonna lie, it was some stuff I was messed up with, and Vincent found out later, and he was pissed off at me. Was like, "Bruh, why you didn't just tell me
Yeah.
what was going on?" And I'm not saying Vincent is not gonna be there or anybody else, but it's that general statement we were talking about earlier, Frank. People tell you, "Call me if you need me, if you need this,"
hmm
and sure enough, if anybody need me for something, I'm there.
hmm
You get what I'm saying? But sometimes I guess my inner thing is, if I ask somebody, I don't think I would get the same stuff, expect the same love back. I don't
Well,
go
we
because
into
yeah
it
we
expecting to
do it.
help.
Yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead, Paul. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I understand exactly what you're saying, Tori. And we as people who care about you and care about each other have to do more of what we do occasionally. We say, "Hey, y'all, what are y'all numbers on 1 to 10?" And
hmm
hopefully, give you the space to say, you know what, I'm at a 4 right now. And then once you let us know you at a 4, that's when we get into action. We ain't gotta wait to say what you need me. Hey,
hmm
we just pop up and we get into action.
pop
You know what I
up.
mean? So
That's the
get into
thing,
action.
man. Like
Yeah.
I try to get everybody to understand that I got an open door policy. And what that means is bro, if you come to my house and you gotta ask me for some water, your ass gonna die of thirst. Because my refrigerator right there. I don't I don't hold materialistic things as well as I do relationships. And once you get those relationships where you need them, they there for a reason. God put people in your life for a reason, man. He don't. I'm not. I may know one, two, shit, three. I may know three families in my subdivision, and I've been here over 20 years. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
see, and I had to think about that, Paulo. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
Do
and
you
that
know
is
that neighbor?
crazy. That
Yeah.
is
yeah,
crazy to be in a house over 20 years and you only know three families. It might be 50 families out here.
yeah,
So, bro, when you confining people and you dealing with things, you need a strong unit around you because you can blink your eye, man, you out of here. You can take one deep breath and you out of here. Your
yeah,
heart, you can have the last heartbeat and you out of here. And it's gonna affect other people, man. You gone, so it don't affect you. And see, that's what death does when grief hits us. That person is at peace. Like the thing John is finna have to deal with, Janelle is at peace. But the war that he finna have to battle,
mhm,
and right now, the noise has stopped. It's 9:41 Wednesday night. And he probably sitting at the edge of his bed, wishing that he could talk to his wife, kiss his wife, hug his wife. That's his friend. Like
mhm.
all those emotions going through him. And but I'm
Yeah.
man,
That's
y'all
the tough part. That's the tough part, bro. Like we ain't got those spaces. Like I said, what space did he have? Because again, he has he has a young daughter. You know what I mean? So a young daughter in the house with him. So at least if that was to happen to some of us, our kids are older, so they can take care of themselves. So we ain't, you know what I mean? So we free to go off on our own, but he don't have the, you know,
nobody. He ain't got
yeah, he got
nobody.
the space or the capacity to even grieve. You know what I mean? So that's the tough part. That's the part that I'm trying to deal with or reconcile within myself. Um, because again, like you said, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it.
And when you
But
talk, when you talk to him, everything moving forward that we do with John, gentlemen, I'm telling y'all, we're gonna have to force it.
yeah,
Because with me, when my brother died, man, I didn't want to go nowhere. I just want to lay in the bed. I'm talking about the TV watching me. I'm not watching the TV. I don't want to get my legs feel weak.
Well, I got a
I'm
question for
I'm
you,
not
Frank.
hungry.
No, good quick question. Like I know you say your brother passed, and they say it takes time for something to heal. Now you
Hmm.
say your brother been how long he been gone so far?
Over 2 years.
So did it get easier in 6 months, or did it
Nope.
get easier in 1 month? Does
No.
it still feel the same
It
today as
still
it did the day he died?
it still feel the exact same. Because me and my brother did everything together. And when I tell you everything together, I got 5 children. My brother got 5 children. If you didn't know no better, you would think we was in the room together because every time I was having a child, he was having a child. Um, when we first came to Atlanta, it was me, my mom, and my dad, and my brother. My dad had left us, so it was me, my mom, and my brother. We was one contained unit. So everything that I did, well, he was the oldest. Everything he did, I had to do it with him. And so as I got older, that thing still happened. Me and my brother would get to fighting, and 10 minutes later, it like ain't nothing happened. Like nothing. So when you build a bond with somebody and it's a strong bond, it's hard to shake that bond. So when they gone, you realize that you can't talk to your best friend no more. It seemed like it was way more advanced than a brother. It seemed like your best friend, the person you talk to, the person you do everything with. And now when you have a problem, who you go to? You don't have no safe spaces. And I'm gonna say something to her that because you don't have a sibling, this is something that was very strong for me. And it's gonna sound tough, but who gonna kill for you? You understand what I'm saying? Who gonna kill for you? On the flip side of that, who gonna die for you? And on the flip side of that, who gonna live for you? So tonight, man, when you in your room and you lay down, think about those three things and try to come up with a person that you think is willing to do all three of those things, and then imagine they taken away from you. Now they got you ain't got that no more. Like you're not gonna ever if you ever find that one person that will kill for you, die for you, and live for you, and you lose that person, like John probably could say that was Janelle. You understand what I'm saying? Now she gone. He probably never find that person again. So the grief that he finna deal with is gonna be tremendous, and 1 month ain't gonna do it to him. 6 months ain't gonna do 6 years ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
He probably
Feel
gonna
like
die with that hole in him. Like it's a different thing. You can meet somebody to it, you can fall in love with them, and then you can get a divorce. But imagine if that person, Paulos, is taken away from you and y'all didn't leave each other.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy transition. And Paulos, I'm praying that well, I can't even pray that for you because it's impossible for you not to have to deal with it. That's something
I know.
unless you planning on leaving before everybody do, which
Yeah,
I
that's
find
one
that
of it.
very hard to do.
And that's a
Uh
different thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I don't want to go,
yeah.
but
You see what
yeah,
I'm saying? So you'll
yeah,
be everybody will have to leave.
hmm
You would have to leave
yeah,
before everybody, and you saying you ain't ready to go.
yeah.
So
But when
there's
we,
a
go ahead, yeah.
you there's a amount that you're gonna have to deal with, and
Right.
I it's so much stuff I need, but like Tori said a few minutes ago, man, and I'm gonna keep going back to that. We raised that men don't cry, so I wouldn't even know how to call, and my dad is still living. Shit, man, I couldn't imagine crying.
Trying to trying to talk to him.
Man, what? I
Yeah,
couldn't even,
yeah.
cause my dad is so old school. I could not even begin to imagine how to call this man crying. He probably hang up on me.
Look, they got songs out there about you can't cry. Remember that one song, Key Sweat, I want to go outside in the rain?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That song, that song is all about crying. He didn't
yeah,
want, he don't want you to see him crying. So
yeah.
you're gonna go out in the rain. So
Well,
You you
uh,
know what?
when
That crazy.
when was the last time y'all had a good cry? I can tell y'all the last time that I really was like just just had to let it release it. And that's been over probably like over 30 years ago. It was like one
Really?
of the lowest. Yeah, it was
Hold up.
because again, I consider myself lucky, and I pushed
Uh,
stuff down
yeah.
so much. It was it was uh, I was dating my wife at the time, but I had roommates, and I had got my car repossessed. I had to move out of my apartment and sleep on my sister's sofa. And right before, like I had put all my stuff in storage, and I basically had to build myself back up from the ground. Um, but once I cleared everything out the apartment, everybody was gone. It was just me in there by myself, and I just broke down. It was just me by myself because I just felt so low at that moment, or just felt like what I mean, just felt like life was just whooping my ass, and it was. Um, but that was probably the last time. Yeah, I've got emotional and maybe shed a couple of tears, but just to pour everything out, that was probably the last time I was actually able to just pour everything out. And from that point on, even though I've dealt with some grief and some things like that one, I just continue to push it down, continue to push it down so that I could move forward. And that's always been my motto: is keep moving forward. So that's why I tell you guys, I don't know if I'll be able to come back because I've been pushing it down so long that
So tell me,
if
Mm.
go ahead. So tell me
go
this
ahead.
much, Carl. Paul, have you ever seen a movie that makes you cry?
Yeah, but that ain't the same thing. I feel
I
emotional.
know it ain't the same thing, but
Yeah,
for you to
but like
cry in that movie though, you meaning for you to cry, you mean you had to feel something to relate to that.
I felt it, but it was touching. I may have shed a tear. I was like, oh, okay, or I teared up or something like that one.
Hold on,
But
name a
I'm
movie
telling
then.
you,
Name a movie you
I'm
saw
just
that made you cry. I'm just
I'm just
curious.
saying the end of at John Q. When the little boy at the end of John Q. When the police was taking him away and he did the little flex, the little boy did flex. Did you watch John Q?
Yeah, I
Hmm.
Because
saw it.
I could, yeah, that to me was an emotional moment because that's how I felt as a father. So I can relate to that when where your back is up against the wall. His wife telling him do something, do something, do something. And, he felt his back against the wall and he was willing to die for his son. You know what I mean? So I related to that. But that didn't pour everything out of me. When I say
Okay.
pour thing out of you, pour it. I mean, I
But
every emotion that I had just poured out. I
but
just poured
Paulo,
everything poured out.
let me ask you a question. You ever got drunk before? I'm talking about drunk,
Yeah.
drunk. Tori, you ever got drunk before? Drunk, drunk.
Trust me, yes.
So did either you guys throw up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened
Uh,
when you throw up? That it happens
yeah.
unconsciously that you don't even realize happening,
Yeah, tears come out your eyes.
Yeah. Hmm.
and you can't breathe.
Oh yeah, when you're puking.
Well, yeah, because
Paulo,
it's coming out the
Paulo,
same hole. But yeah.
yeah, Paulo. This is very dangerous for you, bro. You got to stop pushing stuff down because when it eventually come up, you're gonna feel like you're being suffocated because you have pushed this stuff down for so long and did not want to deal with it. Like this is what I learned on vacation. And you guys know what my vacation was. It was extended vacation. Um, I used to go in the shower with my eyes wide open and let the water hit me in the eyes. And tears are cleansing, man. I'm talking about you feel so much better after you release the tears and you just feel so much better. And I can't help but to go back to what Tori said. We've been programmed as grown men and boys, little bitty boys, that men don't cry. So when I was in the shower and the water was hitting me in my eyes, and I'm tearing up, I didn't feel like I was crying because I was in there by myself. And I didn't feel like I was crying because I didn't know what was water from the shower or tears from my eyes. Um, so I didn't feel vulnerable. It didn't make me feel like I was ashamed of myself. And one of the things that I've had to deal with, fellas, is being raised how I was raised. And I'm not afraid. Now, I'm not afraid to say I'm raised wrong. Now, I wouldn't necessarily tell my mama that because she'll take offense to it. I wouldn't tell my dad that because he would take offense to it. But I promised myself in life that I would never do nothing that I'm ashamed to tell my dad that I did. That all reverts back to what Tori said. When you a boy, you are raised to act and carry yourself a certain way. So real men ain't supposed to cry. Real men ain't supposed to be vulnerable. Real men ain't supposed to deal with grief. While everybody else crying, you supposed to be walking around patting people on their back and passing out handkerchief, and you supposed to run to the store to get the fried chicken. You supposed to get the water. You supposed to get all these things to make sure everybody else is comfortable, as if you don't have emotions yourself, as if you don't have stuff you dealing with. Um, Grief, Carlos, you gotta be careful, bro, because it will spiral you into depression. And once you start going down that rabbit hole of depression, man, um, I had to talk about because I thought I was dealing with depression because I couldn't shake the grief. And so it would take my energy away. It would make me sleepy and I ain't sleepy. It would make me tired and I ain't did nothing. It would make my legs feel weak and I haven't even walked down the steps. So when the emotional aspect of it hit you, is man, it's amazing. That's why I said, gentlemen, we got to force John to do certain things. In this upcoming month, we got to be with him. Um, we got to help him with his daughter. Carlos, you got daughters. I got daughters. Um, we got to get because I really don't know the dynamic of John family. Tori, maybe you do.
Right.
A little
Um,
bit.
I really I don't know who he have on his side. I don't know who would be there for him. I really don't know. And I'm really skeptical about the inner workings of people family because um, we deal with the respect avenue of our lives. Everybody don't deal with respect like that. Some people tell you stay the fuck out my business. All that kind of stuff, man. They'll do that to you, and you don't want to be rejected for trying to help somebody. So, Tori, you and Vincent are more open to his family members. I didn't even realize what his brother looked like.
Well,
I s-
Greg Hill. That's his
well I
nephew.
well I know Greg, but I don't know
Yeah.
Greg. You get what I'm saying? Like it ain't.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
really know him like that.
Right.
I really don't know. Like I said, nobody like that but John.
Yeah.
And I would want us.
Hmm.
I think we should uh,
Yeah.
pull John into the fold.
Yeah. Absolutely. Extend the brotherhood and even more. Not saying that he's not in it, but you know, because it's good. it's good for us. Like I said, for me, this is how I debrief. Like I said, dealing this whole week has been heavy, and so this for me is like you said is therapy. This is how I debrief and how I gain insight um, from you guys. You know, from the experiences that you've already gone through, and try to best I can prepare myself to be better version of myself in the future based on what I learned from you guys. So absolutely, you got to embrace them and bring them in closer into the fold, as we talk about all the time. Going
Mhm. So,
When we
Carlos,
talk
have
about,
you?
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to know, have you had a talk with your wife about how you keep pushing things off, or
I
like you
haven't,
said, pushing it down?
right? I haven't. I haven't talked to anybody about it.
Yeah.
That's what I
One quick
said.
question. Hold
Mhm.
up, Carlos. When you say talk about it, is your wife, is she more of a crier on you and will cry on the heart, but she don't do grief people? Because maybe it could be she. I mean, I'm not a therapist. That she don't
Right.
cry. Maybe this show that's probably why you
No,
don't
no,
cry.
she does. She does. No, it ain't. It ain't. It's me. It's not her. It's my program. It's the things I have gone through. The way I was brought up. Just to share with you with it. My parents got divorced. I was younger, way young. And at one point, my mom came back and got my brother and sister, and I stayed with my dad and my grandmother and that stuff. And then it got to a certain point where I was taken from that environment and I moved back with my mom. So for me, that created, I built up I was 10. I remember when I was like 9 or 10. That was the first time I could remember where I just released it. When I had to move back with my mom, that first 2 weeks, I cried every night. I can vaguely remember me and my brother shared a room. I'm in the bed crying because that back and forth that messed with me. So it taught me and it created a wall where I did not develop any type of attachment to anybody because I knew that I could be snatched or they could be snatched back and forth. So I still carry that with me to this day. That
Yeah.
it's a trigger for me. Um, it's a trigger for me. Uh, so I know that about myself. So that's another reason why I don't build too attachments to certain people, certain things, because I know that any moment they can be taken away or they can leave. And so that's
Mhm.
something that I have to continue to work on and develop. Um, so just to say, Tori, that it's me. I know it's me, but it's the way I've had to cope or I've coped all my life, basically.
Maybe
Um,
because you maybe because you haven't really had that much tragic. See, I'm more stuff tragic happened to me like close friends. Like you went to hardware, Frank. You remember Cedric Gamble?
Yeah, I remember Cedric.
Now Cedric Gamble was in my neighborhood. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
said.
Let's say he was light skinned, had the cat eyes and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
not Cedric Mitchell,
I know
but
you're
he's
talking about.
gone
Yeah,
too.
yeah, 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 yeah. Cedric. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So for me, when I was 10, we was 11, and my mama had a rule. If I was too sick to go to school, I was too sick to go outside. So
Side. Yeah.
the kids nowadays,
mhm,
you got to force them to go outside. But when we was younger,
mhm,
remember when mom and them got home, we was outside.
Yeah.
mhm.
So the day I played hooky from school, I didn't go to school that day. But it said he was out there riding his bicycle, and I would have been right there with him. See, in my neighborhood, everybody in our neighborhood was older. It was just me and Cedric. We were both the same age. Cedric got hit by a car.
I
So
remember that.
yeah. So and one of the things I remember, they his mama was gone. My mama said, "Uncle, in my neighborhood, parents are like my mama whoop him, his mama, because parents was together then in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I remember everybody ran to my mama's house and told me, Cedric got hit, Cedric got hit. And I remember going up there, and it's still in my head. I remember he died. You know what I'm saying? I just remember he was laying there on the ground, and all he kept saying, "I want my mama, I want my mama." Then he shut his eyes. And my mom was holding his hand like, "Baby, your mama coming," but he never saw his mama. So that grief hit me. It didn't really hit me then that he was gone until The next day or that weekend, I went outside. He wasn't out there to play with me no more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He rode bikes with me, and he was that thing when the older guys in our neighborhood treated us wrong. He was the one would help me out and help me fight. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause guys are guys. We play football, so that was my first grief as somebody close to me died. My next grief was when Sugar Man died. Okay, whether y'all know that Michael Winfrey stayed in my neighborhood too, because his grandma stayed over there. So over time, you know, I guess when his parents went through stuff, Sugar Man stayed in my neighborhood. So, but when I tell you the most grief I never seen anybody age, we was 43, and I never forget me and Lewis went to see Michael Winfrey at the hospital. So, they were saying he wasn't doing good. So the nurse came in there, and we were gonna go out, and she was like, "No, no." He said, "No, they have to go." And she said, "No, this private. What you got to say?" He said, "No, I'm cool. We friends. They can hear what we can say." And me and Lewis was sitting there, right? So as we was talking to Sugar Man, the whole time we was joking, talking shit, all that. So when the nurse came in there, the nurse was like, "You sure you don't want to go ahead and get your leg amputated, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Man said, "Nope." And she was telling him like, "Hey, if you don't get your leg amputated, it's gonna cause gangrene and it's gonna cause an infection." In typical Sugar Man fashion, he was like, "Nope." He said, I came here with it. I'm gonna leave here with it." And I'm looking at him like, "Are you serious? Are you just joking?" And he was like, "I said, you joking, right?" And the nurse said, "No, I'm not joking." She's like, "You need to get your leg removed." He said, "Nope." So, and I remember, and I'm sitting there, Lewis sitting there. No, Lewis is quiet. I'm sitting up there crying like a baby. Y'all. I'm like, "Man, you got to get the leg cut off." But and we know that the story what happened to Michael. I'm not gonna get that much what happened to him. But we all know he was paralyzed. But I guess in his mind that he got to the point where he, when if they were gonna amputate his leg, that means he couldn't get better.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the first time I ever seen a guy that was so ready to die. Never seen it. I mean, he was welcoming death, and I remember he was like, "Nope." And from that conversation on, I'm going. I mean, I'm sort of there crying, tears in my eyes. I'm like, "Bruh, I was saying you being selfish, man. You got your daughter, your kids, and I didn't understand it at the time. I'm like, bruh, how can you just sit here and not get your leg amputated?" He said, "Tori, it is what it is." And I'm still up there. Come on, man, do it. You gotta do it, man. He like, and typical Sugar Man, Sugar Man, we sit there and joke, talk shit. He just got mute on me because he
Yeah.
was set
Yeah.
on dying. I had never seen that. So after that, I would go see him at the house and I would talk to him, and he'd be normal talking Sugar Man. But as soon as I go to talk, I'm like, bro, you can't let this happen to you. He'd go mute on me.
Yeah.
And he didn't pretty much say he was ready to die, but you could tell he was ready to die.
Yeah.
Because even Vincent make the joke about saying, when Vincent said when he went in there, he said, "Hey man, how you doing?" He said, "Yep, just sitting here waiting to die."
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that. I was sitting right there when he said it.
Yeah, yeah, it's like when we went to his house.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
I
I never
remember.
seen a guy our age, man, that was
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
die.
And man, like,
And I was hurt over that one, man. Because it was the first person I know that was our age. Because I had uncles that died, that
yeah.
grandparents that died. But somebody our age that was facing death, that was ready to die, man. I could
It
not
put it
understand.
puts a mirror in your face. It puts a mirror in your face that
Yes,
this
it
is
do.
this is you. You know what I mean? This is a mirror in your face. This is a reflection of you. And it's hard to understand not being in that situation because we didn't have to live in his body. You know what I mean? And we didn't have to go through whatever he was going through. And that's the tough part. You know, and I guess that's the part that I push down. Not I try
Yeah.
not to think about that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I try not to focus on that. But again, when the mirror is put in front of you, Tori, like that, it's hard not to do that. At Janelle's service, it was a beautiful service, but at the same time, I'm in the back, but I can see, John what he's going through, and it's a mirror that
Yeah.
could be you any day now. You know what I mean? So that could be you dealing with that whole situation. So
And
Yeah.
guys, we have a family graveyard in South Georgia. Um and so you got slots. Well, my daddy gonna be right there, my brother right there, I'm gonna be right here, so forth and so on. And my dad, guys, go to that graveyard every day, every single day, Paulo. I could call him to talk to him. Dad, what you do today? Well, I went over there to the graveyard and cut the grass. You say you did that yesterday. Well, I did. So what you did? Like, he told me that I don't understand. And I was like, Dad, help me to understand. Help me, because I know I don't understand. Help me. He said, my dad out there. So okay. He said, my mom out there, my sister out there, my brother's out there. And now my oldest son is out there. Like, I'm thinking about how I'm feeling. I ain't even imagining that this shit is 200 times worse on him, because when they tell you it ain't nothing like burying your child, like, I'm not even thinking about how traumatic that is on him. I'm just thinking about how it make me feel. Like, even when we talk about John losing his soulmate, we never think about what it's gonna do to Joy, how it's gonna impact her life moving forward forever. Like, and when I talked to my daddy about it, because he a country dude raised in the old way, he emotionless. You get what I'm saying? Like, he gives you zero emotion, but his actions speak volume. So, Paulos, for you, we got to work on you being able to be verbal in how you feel, because you suppressed it so much that, and this is something I know about you. You smile a lot. You try to find humor in things, so you laugh a lot. But because I've masked my feelings for so long, I see things other people don't see. And I said something to you when we was at Longhorn and the lady brought the ticket out. And you like, bro, I got it. And I told you no. I told you no, bro, because I care for you. I told you no, not because I think you can't afford it. It's because the love that I have for you is for not just today, but for your future as well. We deal with stuff so differently, and we mask things so much that we rarely have a shoulder to lean on. So when we be grieving, don't nobody know it. Your wife don't know it. Your kids don't know it. If you got a girlfriend, she wouldn't know it. Like, your neighbor wouldn't know it. You get what I'm saying? Like, your parents ain't gonna know it. Nobody ain't gonna know it, because we was raised that real men don't cry. So we suppress everything until that day when we throw up and now we can't damn breathe. Now you having a panic attack because we don't have outlets. We don't have safe spaces. Like since I started talking to you guys, this about the safest I've ever felt in my entire life. And when I talk, I really don't be want nobody to hear me but y'all. I really don't be want nobody to know what's going on around me but y'all. And this ain't crazy as hell because we talking on a podcast that has the ability to be
Right.
viewed by millions.
It don't matter.
So
It
yeah,
don't
so
matter,
it see
man.
I run it, but I only see y'all.
Hmm.
So when I'm talking, I only see y'all, and I can only hear y'all, and because I know y'all love me, I only give a fuck about what y'all think. So I appreciate y'all. I really do. And like I said, man, I never really been around. I probably got 50 boy cousins and about 5 to 6 girl cousins. And they range from pastors to murderers and everything in between.
Right.
And I can't be open with them. I can't be blatantly honest with them. I can't tell them how I feel. And even that's for my cousin, that's the pastor. Like, if I call my cousin right now crying and he a pastor, this man is gonna hang up and call my mama. I'm talking about he ain't gonna even he's
Right.
not gonna even talk to me. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
He
yeah.
gonna hang up and call my mama to see what's going on. Bro, I called you because I need you. Mom don't need you.
Mhm.
It's me. And
Mhm.
so when you need that shoulder, man, and you grieving, like even we talked earlier about Malcolm Jamal Warner's wife and kids, like, man, it'd be crazy because Vincent said that noise gonna stop.
Yeah.
And he right.
Yeah.
He right. People gonna stop calling you. People gonna stop checking on you. If they don't see you, man, they act like you don't even exist.
But
And so
even when
we
we talk about, yeah, even when we talk, we had a podcast about legacy, and
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm thinking, even though I think we're all here for a reason to do something, and and sometimes we look at like why it happened to some people, and we look at Janelle. Janelle was here for a reason. We
Mhm.
look
yeah,
at her legacy. You get where I'm coming from?
yeah,
Mhm.
And I probably knew a little bit more than probably y'all. Um,
yeah,
she's one of the rare people that I can honestly say, you couldn't say nothing bad about her. You know what I'm saying? And truly, people say that a lot of things. Say, oh, when they have a funeral, usually like, man, I didn't know that guy. This guy did this and I got
Mhm.
this with. She was generally a sweet-hearted person. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. I mean, always. Everything you heard about what she said, it was her, y'all. So I guess it hit me more with grief because I'm thinking I know so many other people that do so many wrong things. I just think, they just cut the clock on her just too soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then we not supposed to question. We not
And that's the
supposed
hard
to,
part.
yeah, like if it's in his hands and you're not supposed to question. But damn, I was told as a young man that no question is a dumb question. We were always
So
told it. Like no question is a dumb question if you want to know. And I want to know. I don't question everything that goes on around me, but there are certain things that I just know there was a beautiful spirit. a beautiful person. Uh, if you and everybody can say that they got the best spouse in the world, they got the best girlfriend in the world, they got the best of everything until you run across a person that sets the standard on
Yeah,
what that shit's supposed to look like day in and day out. And then that make you question yourself
yeah,
on what I could be doing better. When you be around a person like that, it don't even you don't think about the woman man aspect. You think about the person. What make this person light shine like it do? What make this person be so magnetic towards people? What make this person see the best in everybody? What make this person treat everybody the same? And the occasions that I was around her, it will be an amazing feeling. Somebody ain't judgmental, somebody super smart and super intelligent at the same time.
yeah,
And I know for a fact nobody wants to leave their little baby. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like nobody's prepared to have a child. Well, I know it's some messed up people out here in this world,
right.
but man,
Yeah, that's one of the things that as a parent that you want to live long enough to see your child
yes,
grow up and
yes,
start a family of their own and be able to stand on their own. So that to me, that's a joy in being a parent. But again, it's hard to imagine.
and so I know you knew her way better than us, and I know um, y'all would get together because you, Vincent, and John used to ride together. Y'all used to be everywhere together. So I know y'all shared a bond amongst each other as well as with her that we don't know nothing about. So I know you got way more insight than we do. And s-
Like I
certain
say,
things,
y'all, yeah, like I said, she was a real genuine. When I tell you truly loved her husband, truly loved her husband. You know how you say when I learned people say you need to have a backbone, she was truly his
Hmm.
backbone, regardless. I mean,
Hmm.
John could do some crazy stuff and say, um, we're not eating beef no more. You know what I'm saying? And they won't eat beef no more. You know what I'm saying? She yeah, I'm just thinking something. You
Hmm.
probably say we just
Right, the
we just gonna go
helpmate.
on a
Yep.
liquid job. She supported
Hmm.
him regardless. You know, it could be something crazy he would say, dude. When they said the true meaning of to death do you part, having somebody to she was truly for that for him.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah. We you can't ask for nothing even more. And I'm pretty sure both of y'all have. Even with you, Frank, I think Deborah stand behind you regardless to whatever you do. She got your back. You know what I'm saying? So
He
and
is
I'm pretty
biggest
sure
cheerleader.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. We all need a cheerleader. So Janelle was his cheerleader. And I'm pretty sure Erica is your cheerleader too. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, we ain't got that same dynamic. She gonna be trying to look sideways. She probably ain't
but
gonna say nothing, but later on she gonna say something.
but no,
She gonna say nothing in public. Yeah. So. And that was
um
a beautiful thing too that I appreciated that that they were able to find each other um, and start have joy together. So that was a rare thing. It's a big I guess war against people finding each other, settling down, and getting married and starting a family, and they were able to do that. So they probably was they were are an example for people who know them and continue the legacy of settling down. We're gonna get you there, Tori. That's
Whatever.
our mission. Tori, I need a suit. I ain't been. Hey, Frank, when the last time you was in the wedding? I think my cousins got married
My
about 3 4 years ago.
m- my daughter,
Your daughter's wedding.
and yeah, now my second daughter gonna get
Getting
married.
married. Tori, we
Yeah.
need. When last time you was the best man, Tori? We need to go and have make it official.
I know it, man. I know it.
Hey,
Look.
you
You
ain't
know
getting no
what?
younger, Tori.
Look. That's another topic for another day. You know what I'm saying?
And you and
I'm gonna
Tori,
tell you. I'm gonna tell you the
I
grease with that. I know more
yeah.
bad
Okay.
marriages than I know good marriages. I'm just put it to you like that. What's
Well,
wrong with
that
that
Well,
picture?
that
You
ain't
know,
gonna
not in
make
your circle.
that don't
listen,
make that don't
listen,
mean
That don't mean
you
yours.
that don't mean
listen.
you're gonna be that way.
No, I'm
So
telling
don't
you.
even. I
No,
know
I'm
what you
telling you.
finna say,
I'm just saying. I can think of 10 marriages. Of them 10, I can only know 3.
but
That's good.
you can't
You only
move
know three.
in that.
You know more than three.
But Tori,
You
you
know
can't
four
move in
of
that
us.
light. You can't move in that light though, Tori.
Why you
You
don't
can't
count
move in
three?
that light.
It's four of us, Tori.
Tori, you can't move in that light. You gotta move in the light that you want to be better. You
And
gotta
I
move
know
in the
everybody
light
gonna be
that
different.
you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this the thing, bro. This thing, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I don't think nobody should get married that ain't ready.
Yeah,
True.
I
absolutely.
don't think nobody should be told what they should do, how they should do it, or when they should do it.
Absolutely.
I think if God tell you it's time, I think you're gonna pull the trigger. But if he don't tell you it's time, I don't think that you should get married and make nobody else's life a living hell if you know that that ain't what you want to do. Don't sit back and let nobody peer pressure you into doing nothing that you know ain't at the best interest for you.
I think at 50,
Because
no, hold on.
yeah,
I think at 51, I'm way past the peer pressure part.
Yeah.
I think we all went long
yeah,
past that part. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, Tori, I mean, if you were to get married, you do a destination wedding. If you were to get married.
Yeah. That's what I thought about. Have a
Okay.
destination wedding and then tell everybody to come.
Yeah.
Uh, it's I even looked at, well, anyways,
Right.
to, to
We'll
the
talk about it
future.
another time. All right.
I got some things coming in the future. Yeah, y'all gonna be
Yeah. Yeah.
surprised. We got some future
We,
stuff that's coming. We got some
okay.
future
Hey, I
stuff
look
coming.
look
That's all I'm
forward
gonna
to
say.
it.
It's some future stuff coming.
Hey, we look
So
forward
get
to
your
it. Don't
pocketbooks ready.
Hey man,
Oh, big
they gonna
time.
be ready. They gonna be
Hey,
ready.
Tori,
And
I promise you, Tori, if you ever announce something like that, everybody gonna be there. We got
everybody,
a witness
I'm bringing
Uh,
my mama. If
Hey, it's
Tori
going to
do
be
shit like that.
it's going to be a destination wedding. It's going to be just it's going to be private. What I'm saying, I don't need no pop ups in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
I ain't having
understand.
But
nothing in the city.
but this the thing though, Tori. All jokes aside, my brother was never married, so
Yeah.
it ain't no level that say if you get married, it's gonna be bring joy and happiness to your life.
Oh,
Because
of course, yeah.
bro never got married, and you know
What I just told
it,
you, I know 10.
yeah,
I'm just speaking in random. I know 10. I can name
and
10
don't
marriages, and I'm not just
and
saying all. Yeah, I mean we talking about relatives and all that. I can say I know more good. I know more bad marriages than I know good. And
Well,
part of
you
that,
know some good
when
ones.
I
You know at least five good ones, maybe more. Why you gonna say
what
three?
to,
It's five of us.
deal with no deal with Torah
Which
saying.
two you not
Tor,
counting out?
Mm.
Which two you're not
no,
counting out the five, Tori?
no, don't count. No, listen, don't count nobody. But this is what I know Torah saying. Torah is saying on the surface level, it might look a certain way, but when you dig down in it,
Okay.
nah.
people
So
show you people show you
yeah,
stuff on the outside,
yeah,
and,
the
and, and,
surface.
and basically, I mean, and honestly, and I'm not saying this because John, when I tell you that was a good marriage right there,
Yeah,
Yeah,
truly,
it
when
was.
I tell you he loved her and she loves him, regardless, unconditionally.
Yeah.
I mean, even no if, ands, or but, none whatsoever.
Mhm.
I can truly say.
Right.
Matter of fact, yeah, when I tell you John was straight, straight, I don't think John even
Yeah.
looked at another woman. You know, we might see a
Yeah.
big booty walk by. He didn't even look at that kind of stuff. You know what I'm
Hey, the thoughts of OG Tory are not necessarily thoughts of the Uncle OG Worldwide Limited. Don't be putting that out there, but we speak for
Hey,
yourself. Triple
hey,
OG Tory. Hey, you
uh,
speaking for yourself, brother.
but I'm saying, I'm not saying marriage is not the thing, but I'm just
Right.
telling
I
you
understand.
part of it. You know, like you said, another thing. You know, we have a show about marriage, but
Right.
a lot of time when I
Absolutely.
was younger, I looked at a lot of things what a lot of guys went through, and I was like, "Ooh, do
Yeah.
I really want to go through that?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why go
Yeah.
through that point? I
Yeah.
got a
I
cousin.
understand.
I got a cousin that been married 4 times, and
Hey.
and let me tell you, and I remember on his third marriage, and which was crazy. I remember the best man. You know how the best man got up there and talk. So the best
Hmm.
man got up there and said, "Now, he been married 4 times. He on his fourth marriage now." And I remember he had a big wedding for all three. And I remember on the third one, the best man got up and said, "Well, you know what? I guess a third time's a charm. You gonna be the right one." And everybody was pissed off at the best man. You know what I'm saying?
What? There was true.
Well, they
Yeah.
would say he
Okay.
was dooming it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And true enough,
And then what they
him,
wind up, they get. He was right when
yeah,
he was
you're
wrong.
right. He ended up getting divorced in a year later. But the next woman that he's with now, he been with for the past 5 years, longer than any marriage he had.
All
And he didn't even have a wedding for that. They went to the courthouse.
yeah.
right.
He saved some money
Wedding
that
is,
time,
yeah,
But
yeah,
but that
yeah.
seemed to be the most strong marriage that he got from all the other women he had. You get what I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
huh?
So but who to say and people say, "Oh, the marriage is the key." It took him 4 times to find his right.
Hey,
Hey, try
Joe,
and try again.
and man, my dad had been married 3 times.
My dad been
Yeah,
married at least
Yeah,
four
yeah,
times.
yeah.
My
So
grandmother was married probably like five.
your
You say
grandmama,
you
God
said your
damn,
grandma man 5 times?
She was married at least probably about 5 times.
Yeah.
you said your
Yeah,
grandma.
my grandmother.
I'm gonna need you to
Yeah.
keep that shit to yourself moving forward.
Why?
Don't you tell nobody
It
else
ain't no.
that
Hey,
your
It ain't
Liz
no
Taylor.
grandma
secret.
been married
Look, Liz
5
It
Taylor
ain't
times.
was
no
married seven
secret.
times.
Who?
It was like
Liz Taylor were married 7 times.
that's what they used to call her, like Liz Taylor. My grandma didn't play. She wasn't there. She was
Your
one of them
grandmama didn't play,
light
period.
skin. She didn't play. She replaced him. My grandma didn't play. She didn't take. She was the matriarch of our family for a long time until she passed, and she didn't play. She
God
didn't mess
damn,
around.
bro.
So
She
everybody
sure
knew her
did.
probably as Miss Capers in Bankhead. But that was, I think Capers was her like second or third marriage.
It just means everybody she dated, she said, "Hey, if you gonna date me, you gonna marry me. It ain't no long
Well,
term
it's a
Hey,
dating."
different
I'm
day and
telling
time.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly. There you go.
yeah.
yeah.
Back then they said before you get this, you got to make me a wife.
Yeah. You can't
Mm-hmm.
touch me for free.
Exactly. And those dude like, "What? I got to marry you?" Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I,
Jim. Hey man, this has been um a session, man, that was really needed. When the other guys come back, we're gonna have to have this discussion again. But the second go round, it probably gonna be more personal and private because I'm quite sure they got some things that they want to release as well. And like
yeah.
I said, guys, we deal with these real stories, and we don't know nothing but real situations, and we discuss it in the real world. Even though we discussing amongst each other, we discussing it in the world as well. Um, this was needed, man. We gotta hurry up and have this round table discussion so we can get a panel of guys together, man. Sit down, chop it up with different perspectives because everybody don't need the same thing.
No.
Um, but everybody needs an outlet. Everybody. And guys, man, in closing, man, I love y'all. I'm praying for John. praying for Janelle. I'm praying for my loved ones. Man, as I get older, I even pray for my enemies, man. I don't want nobody to go through nothing that they don't have to. And I want everybody to love on each other, man. Make this thing better for our people, man. Because damn, we dying and getting murdered at the same time. That shit, but we gonna be extinct in a minute. How we disappearing, man. You can't die and be murdered at the same time. So in
And
my closing remark, man, I just want to say I love y'all. Take off tour.
Um, I really don't really have too much really to say, but grief is something we're all learning. Um, I guess it's getting more reality as we getting past the half a century mark. It's like more of our peers are passing away, which is, when we was younger, it was, grandmama died or auntie died. But when it's our peers, I guess it's touching us much closer to home. I mean, I'm not saying when we talk about Malcolm Jamal Warner, he was closer to us because he was like 54, which is basically what 3 years older than us. But then we look at somebody like Ozzy Osbourne who just died. He was 76. He lived a good life. But I feel like Malcolm Jamal Warner was one of our peers, and it hits a little closer because, like Paul was saying earlier, we all was to some fact we want to be Theo. One of the things I can relate to him, I remember how his room was. When I was younger, the way my room was in my house, my room was a mess, and that's my mom used to always complain about how messy my room was. And we remember the Cosby Show, Theo room was always a mess. And then
mhm.
and the only time I really had to clean it up is when we had the only time I really had to clean it up was when we had company. Or if I was getting company at my house, that was my thing. If I had overnight company, I had to have my room clean. But with that being said, is you know we got more. Like I always screw this up. We got more yesterdays than we got tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we can just take this time and just appreciate each other as time go on, and don't take life for granted. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Closing.
Take off, Paulo. Shut us down.
All right. Before I say my last one, please like and follow Uncle OG, especially if you that stripper, that white stripper that called Tori Theo. Leave a comment, reach out, and hey, see if you and Theo can link up.
Hey,
But
man.
please, hey, we're trying to be better than we were yesterday. I want to thank you guys for. I promise you, every time I talk to you guys, I feel so much better. I feel lighter. I needed this for you guys. Just kind of help me to debrief and just to kind of get rid of some of that. And I acknowledge that I have work to do. And hopefully with your help, I'll get better at that and be in the space again. I'm comfortable with you guys. I just got to be comfortable with myself. So again, appreciate that, Uncle OGs worldwide, and get you a group of guys and brothers like this because it makes a difference. It makes life a little bit easier, makes life a little bit lighter when you go through the moments that we go through. So hey, get you some bros, man. Get you some some OGs. If you get a couple aunts together, you OG, get a couple OGs, and y'all chop it up. So that's all I got to say about that. But appreciate you guys.
Hey, man. I love y'all, guy, man. I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow, man. We out, fellas.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.